Welcome to the Mobile Language Village introduction. In this video, I will show you how to use the travel guide you will be using to prepare for your speaking assessment. Let's take a look at the first page together. Please read along. The next couple of weeks, you will be preparing for your first real speaking assessment, Mobile Language Village. A mobile language village is a village that will be set up at Alcuin. In this village, English is the only language spoken, which means that in order to get what you want, you will have to speak English as well. There will be 6 different locations, 4 of which you will have to visit. You will find out which 4 you will have to visit on the day of the actual assessment. The conversations you will be having will be conversations you just might have when you visit an English-speaking country. Conversations about very specific situations, social life, asking for help, etc. Beforehand, you will practice these conversations in class, but none of them are set in stone, which means that the dialogue you have in class can be slightly different from the one that you eventually have in the mobile language village. At the bottom of the page, write down your name so that if you lose your travel guide, people will be able to return it to you. Let's take a look at page 5 and 6. On these pages, you'll find the vocab list for the application interview. In the first column, over here, you'll find the English terms you could use during the conversation. The second column was left open so that you can write down the translations yourself. You can use the third column to figure out how to pronounce the words. At the bottom of page 6, some rows have been left open for you to write down other useful words that you might come up with. Let's take a look at conversation A on page 6. This is an example conversation. It's supposed to give you an idea of what you could say during the interview. Do not study these lines by heart. It's very important that you use your own words. Now let's go to page 7. This is where you're going to have to think of your own answers. Write down full sentences and ask your classmates or your teacher if they think the language you used is correct. If you turn the page, you'll see a page that you just might find in your notebook. Use this page to write down keywords, other questions that you might have to answer, and answers to those questions. Now, let's listen to the first example conversation. Flip back to page 6.
Good morning. Are you here for the interview?
Yes, I am.
Could I take a seat?
Yes, of course, please.
What's your name?
My name is Zoe Smith.
Thank you. Here it is. Let's take a look at your file. Tell me something about your GCSE results.
As you can see, my grades are quite high. In my GCSE preparation, I focused on English and history because I would like to study history of the English language at Cambridge. Why history of the English language and why Cambridge? I've always liked the English language and I would really like to know more about how the language changed and developed. The reason I would like to go to Cambridge is that I like to challenge myself. Cambridge is the best university in the UK and I want to make sure I get the best education there is. Why should we accept you? I am extremely motivated, which is probably what every applicant says, but I will prove it to you. At my secondary school, I wrote for the school newspaper, I was class representative and I gave my fellow students extra help. Okay, and do you work well in a team? At first I didn't. I can be a control freak at times, but I learned to collaborate through all of the group assignments that we had to do in secondary school. What's important is that you have to make sure everybody gets to do what he or she does best. If you have to make sure that you enjoy what you have to do, make your life easy and make your task more fun.
Besides that, it's important to keep your promises, and you should be able to hold your group members to their promises as well. Okay. What are your weaknesses? I usually think that I can do everything, but as soon as the deadlines are approaching, I realize that I might have said yes to too many things. I really have to learn to say no. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Could you sign this form to confirm that you were here today? Certainly. Thank you for your time. Thank you. We will send you a letter if you get accepted.